Live on YouTube. Perfect. All right. We've been going for a few minutes. So you didn't miss anything. I didn't talk about anything. I was just trying to set up the YouTube chat. Feel free to come in here and chat me up. I don't have any viewers yet. Let me post on Facebook Live. Or post on Facebook here. Let me go to my YouTube as well. Make sure I can go and watch it. Channel. Just the Facts is live right now. And then I get that. So what I can do is I can mute. Because I know what's going on. Okay. Ooh, one viewer. Who's viewing with us today? That's me viewing. Viewing myself. Let's see. We need to make some. Okay. All right. Ashley Forbes is viewing us now. Actually, I need you to go and invite 3 friends. I'm gonna make a challenge for everyone that views the podcast tonight. Go invite 3 friends to the podcast. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna invite 3 people right now. I am going to invite. Oh. I'm gonna invite one person. No, just go on YouTube or Facebook and invite 3 people and bring some people in. I invited one person already. Let's get some more people going. See who's online. Like people that are online on Facebook right now. Live on YouTube. Right. My lighting is going cattywampus on here. I am inviting some peeps. It says now I have. Am I not there? Ah, Wes, what is up, my man? Joining the podcast live. Welcome in, Wes. Trying to invite more people here on YouTube and such. Let's see. Who else do I know that would probably join in? Guys, there's some really interesting subjects I want to talk about tonight. I want to let you know that right now. Well, there's one I didn't write down yet. I was going to write it down. There's one I really want to talk about. Write it down. Okay. 2 viewers for now. I want you all, Wes. I want you to go on there. I'm making a challenge to all my viewers. I want you to go and invite 3 people on Facebook to this YouTube channel. Just tell them to come watch. They don't have to stay and hang out. They can come and watch. They don't have to subscribe. It'd be awesome if they did. Let's see. I'm going to invite one more person. And then I'll start digging into. And if anybody wants to join me live on the podcast to talk about these issues that we're going to talk about tonight. Not necessarily issues. You can see I've got a sports ticker on the bottom showing the baseball scores. I'm going to update that here in a little bit because some games went final a little bit ago. Let's see. One more person I'm going to add. One more person. Here we go. Just the facts. YouTube Live. Okay. All right. So I invited a bunch of people. Wes and Ashley, I need you guys to invite a few people. If I can get one or two more people on here, we can really start digging into these topics. And I want you guys to post on here as well. The first topic I want to talk about is, I guess we'll just start off with the topic right here. O.J. Simpson passed away 2 nights ago now. I didn't hear about it until yesterday. Of course, the family kept it a secret until yesterday. They announced that O.J. Simpson died in his home. I'm going to read the whole report on it. I know I don't have any friends. I get that. But that's why this podcast is going to help me make friends. O.J. Simpson. This is research. I know he died of cancer. He had his full name, Orthanol James Simpson, born July 9th, 1947. Commonly referred to as O.J. Simpson, was an American football player, running back, and an actor and a broadcaster. He played in the National Football League. I'm just going to the Wikipedia page now here. He played in the NFL for, I want to say, like 10 seasons. He was also the same guy. Played for the USC Trojans in college. Won a Heisman Trophy. He ended up on trial for apparently murdering his wife and her friend in the mid-90s. Some of you might be old enough to remember the Bronco driving down the freeway, being chased by the cops in Los Angeles. He was arrested in Vegas, of course, for again later on in his life for armed robbery and kidnapping in 2007. He spent a few years in jail and then was out on parole. So he did. Actually, you do have friends. You have tons of friends. You got a lot more friends than I do. Anyways, yeah, he passed away 2 nights ago in his house here, I believe in California. But his family just asks that you respect their wishes and kind of. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Who else can I invite to the podcast? Inviting people still. Okay. Wesley, you jumped off. You ran away. Where did you go? Yeah, when you enter the room, when you enter the podcast, come and say hi so I know that you're here. So I got 2 people watching. I know it's probably Ashley, and I'm not sure who the other one is. All right. I'm still trying to message people. Anybody I can find that might want to come join the podcast, they're more than welcome to. All right. Just inviting anybody that's on live, online right now. I know it's like I'm really being really quiet right now. Okay. You don't run away on me, bro. Don't run away on me, bro. Invite some friends, Wes. Invite some friends. Anybody that's down, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, let's see. Anybody want to come join? Only got 1 viewer now. Eating dinner, Paul says. All right, I'm trying to invite as many people as I can here. I really want to start diving into these issues, but I need more people to come in and chat about these issues that I want to talk about. Let's see. Some people have their notifications silenced, which I get. Let's see. All right. All right. Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'm going to invite my buddy Chris. Hold on. He wants to come join. Okay. Photos. Because he wants to come join the show. Wes, you want to join the show? Hit me up on Facebook with your email, and I will log you in. You come join the show with me. And then you can bring followers to your Okay. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I've got to go find out what the link is on the YouTube page here. Facebook, WhatsApp, let's see. Of course, my phone is trying to die at the same time. Let's see. Five subscribers to my channel. That's pretty cool. Could be a growing thing. Okay. Working through this one here. Sorry, really quiet right now because I'm trying to get people on here. I'm trying to get people streaming onto my live show here. If I could spell. Okay, I'm trying to send Chris the email address real quick. All right. So I've got 2 viewers, which is good. I'm trying this lighting situation. Off, on. I want it. I kind of have it figured out a little bit. I don't know. Ashley, how's the lighting on your end? And Wes, you too. How's the lighting on your side? All right. Gmail. I'm going to be sending someone else a link real fast for them to get on. Come on, Chris. Let's go. Gosh. Chris is an ass hat, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, Live for 23 minutes. Yeah, Wes, if you want to join, send me a text message on Facebook with your email address. All right, I got Chris's email. I'm going to bring him up in here. That way I have someone to chat with. We can talk about this stuff. A lot of people want to join in. A lot of people want to join in. Let's see. Okay. All right. Invite for Chris has been sent, so he might be joining us very soon. Only one viewer. Sad. Just sad. Wes, if you're still with me, I'm telling you, join. Yes, join or send me an email, and I will join you up with me on the podcast. All right. Well, whenever Chris joins up with us, start talking about these items that we want to get to tonight. The government, two things the government's trying to do right now that is really disconcerting. The government wants to be able to search your house without a warrant, and they're actually working on passing a bill to allow that to happen. Right now, it's going to be voted on in the House next week, and if it gets voted up, then it goes up to the Senate, of course. Okay, Wesley just sent me his email. Let me invite him real fast. Ginger power. Oh man. All right. Wes, you have been invited to come on the podcast as well, along with Chris. Chris has been invited to come on and join the podcast as well. Ashley is viewing the podcast. So we've got a few people on right now. All right. Once I see other people pop in, I will actually, yeah. Right, guys. The first topic I really want to talk about tonight is suicide prevention. I brought it up in my first podcast with a buddy of mine, Josh. Served in the Army with Josh, outstanding individual. And he brought up the point that suicide prevention is something that we can all take note of. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. I know I talk about the 22 a day for the U.S. military, the veterans and stuff. I talk about that, the 22 a day, and it's a serious subject. And there's something we can do. There's always something we can do as individuals, as friends, as family, to these individuals that struggle in life without the help, without someone to reach out and say, "Hey, I got you." What I'm saying is there's always people in always people around us that we don't know what they're going through. You look at someone like Robin Williams. Nobody knew Robin Williams was struggling with depression until he took his own life, and then we knew what he was struggling with. So you never know until it's either too late, but it doesn't have to be too late. We want you to step in and do this now. So, all right. So Chris is queued in. Let me get Chris up in to the stage. Chris, my man, what it is?
What's going on?
Not much. Welcome to Just the Facts. The subject I'm on right now is suicide prevention. Whether you were military or not, suicide affects everyone.
It does,
and too many times someone takes their life when they didn't necessarily have to. So my message on suicide prevention, and if you want to chime in as soon as I'm done here, Chris, my message is that when you, even if you know that someone's struggling or you think someone is struggling, do not hesitate to reach out and give them a call, or just show up at their house and say, hey, what's up? Get them out of the house, get them away from the situation that they're in. Whatever it is, do what you need to do to make sure that you're doing your part to prevent suicide, because the military numbers are an average of 22 veterans or active duty service members kill themselves every single day in this country. And that is, to me, 22 too many. So we want to bring awareness on this podcast for sure. And keep in mind, Chris, my podcast is set up to, it's facts, right? We bring out facts and opinions on this show. No one is going to come on this show and say you're an idiot, you're stupid for anything you say on this show, because it's opinionated facts, right? You're entitled to your opinion just as much as I'm entitled to my opinion. So,
well,
with that being said, your cue on suicide, go ahead.
I just wanted to add in, I've had run-ins with people, maybe they were friends, maybe they were just acquaintances, people that I knew. Like high school was horrible for, kids that wanted to hurt themselves. I ran into handfuls of people that were into cutting and stuff
Right.
like that. And, that's deadly. It doesn't matter how you look at it. But like my biggest thing with suicide and everything is sometimes just people don't want to be saved. And
You're right.
That's kind of like up to them. I mean, you can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved.
Absolutely right.
But,
I believe that doesn't mean that doesn't mean you shouldn't at least try.
Right. But offering your ear, giving them a hug, trying to be there, trying to be a friend and everything like that is it's something that you can do. But if that person doesn't want you there, or doesn't want to be your friend, or whatever the case is, you can't do anything for them. You can't make them.
Right.
You can make a call and say, hey, this person needs help. But whether that's an overstep or right or wrong thing to do, somebody wants to hurt themselves. Somebody wants to do something bad, and they just don't want to be around.
Absolutely.
And
nope, makes complete sense.
Yeah, and so you can't save somebody that doesn't want to be saved. But when it is a cry for help, when it is an attention seeker and everything like that, you can help them, you can save them, you can get to a point to where, okay, let's find out exactly what it is that you're trying to do. Is it just attention that you want? Because I've got all the attention that you can handle. It may not be the attention that you want. It may not be the attention that you're seeking, but it's going to be attention. And maybe, I don't know exactly the whole, what do you call it? Step by step freaking everything. Maybe eventually you get tied down to a bed and hospitalized. Maybe you actually get to talk to somebody and say, look, I'm having a fucking hard time with life. I'm having difficulty trying to live, pay my bills, and keep my sanity.
Right.
So
I just put this up on the bottom of the screen. This is directly from the CDC. 49,000, almost 50,000 people in the United States committed suicide in 2023. Those numbers are staggering. Staggering, I say. Now, if we do some math on this, do some math on this. That's an average of 135 people per day in this country. Roughly about 2.5 to 3 people per state. If you want to do the math even further.
Well, what I'm reading is 449 people committed suicide in 2023. So,
right.
Well,
what can we do to make these numbers go down in 2024? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's the ultimate question that's been as long as my fucking 30, 35, 36 years. That's the question.
Right.
It goes back to, you can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved. You want to be helpful. You're not necessarily looking to be a hero. You're not necessarily looking to be anything. You just, why do you want to do this? Well, I'm having a hard time in life. Well, what is so hard in life that you don't want to be around?
You're not wrong. And my saying to those people is, you have more to live for than what you think you do. There are people out there that, like for me, I'm a father. There's people out there that rely on me to stay alive and to be here for them. I think about it. If I weren't on this earth, there's times, and I survived through survivor's guilt, having been to Iraq, having watched one of my friends, one of my comrades, my buddies, my brothers, as I would say, be killed right in front of me. Of course, I'm going to have thoughts of it should have been me instead, or maybe I don't belong here. However, whether you believe in a God or a divine being or whatever, I'm here because I'm here. Things happen for a reason. I didn't die in Iraq. I'm here. I have 3 children with my ex-wife. I have 3 children with my girlfriend right now. They're not mine, but they're, I claim them. And they might need me in the future. They might need to come to me for advice. They might need to come to me with issues of any kind. And if I'm not there to help them, what's to stop them from saying, no one's here to help me. I'm just going to take my life. It's over. But that's my spew on that. Let's see, what time is it now? 9:38 local time. Got about an hour and about 20 minutes to get on through the rest of these things. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, and we're going to change up this banner here. The next thing I'm going to talk about becoming a big thing in this country. Hold on, let me fix that. Becoming a big epidemic in this country right here, right now, is squatters' rights. So it's
Oh my
now an
God.
epidemic, especially in places like Texas, California, New Mexico, Arizona. These illegals, and I will say that they're illegals. That's exactly what they are. They're not coming into this country the right way, in my opinion. But they're being allowed to come into our country, walk into a house, and say, I live here now. And they're being given rights to do so without being kicked out.
Well,
So,
the
go ahead.
problem, the biggest problem with squatters' rights are the fact that, you know, we as Americans, as citizens, you know, we're supposed to have rights to work. We're supposed to have rights to be able to buy a house and to buy a car and to buy boats and jet skis and whatever we want. We should be able to do those things.
Right.
But there's nothing to protect us. Like, okay, so if you go and buy a house, me as a squatter, I come into your house and say, this is now my house. Screw you, whatever. There's a lot of things that fall into place. Now, do I
Right.
have mail going to your house? Because if I have mail going to your house, then I have rights to your house.
Well, so it's interesting because, okay, so, and this has been explained to me a few times via police and via law, like lawyers in the area. Not just here. Like I've heard this. This is the argument I've been hearing. Anyways, in order to allow someone, so let's say me and my girlfriend go out for a lovely dinner, whatever. The kids are with us. No one's at home. We come home and someone has gotten into the house and made themselves a bed on the couch. Their clothes are strung out all over the front room. Guess what? They have made domicile there. And according to the law, they can't be evicted.
Watch this.
That no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong because that's where my 5.56 or my 12 gauge or something else comes into play. However, like physically by the law, you will go to jail if you shoot them. And the thing is that it that doesn't include the stand your ground law or the what is it? The protect your home law, the one that President Bush put into
the castle
effect.
law.
Yeah, exactly. You are allowed to physically kill anyone that comes into your house and threatens you or your family, or threatens life. Right. With that being said, if they're not showing threat to you, that rule doesn't apply to you anymore. Not to mention, if you
Yeah,
do kill
but
them,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. So a bunch of us go out to dinner or whatever. You guys come back to my house or your house or anybody's house. Doesn't freaking matter. But here's
right?
the thing. Somebody's in my house and they're not supposed to be there, but they've spread the stuff all over. They've got domicile, whatever. Well, I saw them attack me, didn't you?
Sure, you could say that. Here's where it's a gray area, and here's what I've learned. Okay, I recently read a story. I don't remember where it was out of, but these squatters broke into this guy's house. He was out with his family. He got home, found them in his house. They refused to leave, so he broke in through his one of his windows, went and got a gun out of his gun cabinet. They still refused to leave, so he shot them. When he shot the first one, the other one got up and started running. He shot the other one in the back. Now he's facing murder charges for killing squatters in his own home.
Well, that's the problem. Okay, so places like well, it used to be in California. It used to be when I was like this big. Okay, it used to be that if a burglar came into your house and they were facing you and you shot them, nothing really happened. That
Right.
the regular what do you call it? Not interview. Darn it, the word went right out of my head. Investigation. The regular investigation had happened. They take your weapon, right? And they run tests on it and everything like that. You may or may not be able to get it back. But if that same burglar came in, stole something, and was leaving the house and you shot him in the back, yeah, it was your fault. You'd go to jail for murder. But
yeah,
the fact of the matter was he was in my house.
Right.
And that's
you're not
the
wrong.
problem.
I mean,
that's the problem with our society and our laws and regulations with this gun rights and gun safety and gun control and everything like that. When people say we need more gun control, it all comes down to, do you even know what you're saying? Now,
right.
Now, when you're going through hunter safety, gun safety, training, military, anything, it doesn't matter. If you're learning how to use a gun, how to shoot the weapon, how to aim, how to use your targets, how to do everything like that, what's the one thing that they say about using the weapon?
Muzzle awareness, keep your finger off the trigger.
Yeah. But my whole point of this is gun control. When somebody comes to you and says, "Oh, we need more gun control," well, what do I need? What do I need? Gun control. This is my control of the weapon. This is my control of the weapon. Control. You're talking about gun safety. We need gun laws that protect law-abiding citizens.
Yep.
We need gun control, gun safety, and laws and regulations that protect law-abiding citizens that have licenses, that have the right to own and operate a weapon. That if you broke into my house and I shot you, the castle law and the stand your ground law doesn't protect me. But my rights protect me. My constitutional everything should protect me, because you're the one who was stupid enough to come into my house and screw up. That was it.
Right. Oh yeah. Agreed.
Gun control. This is my gun control. This is what I was taught to control my weapon.
Yep. Well, and it all stems from the way we train for example, our children here in this country. Example, I've seen a lot of people. For any of you that are watching, you guys understand. I work at a pawn shop. I was hired there at the pawn shop to be the gun guy, and this is straight out of my manager's mouth. I was hired because I have the most experience with guns, more than anyone else that works there at the current time, right? So here I come in, and I'm still learning. Look, I'll tell you right now, when it comes to guns, I don't know everything. I don't know a fraction of everything. Guys, there are hundreds of different calibers of bullets and guns, and different kinds. There are guns that fit on a belt buckle. There are guns that come in canes. There are guns that come in what looks like a credit card. I'm telling you, there are so many different types of guns. It's hard to be an expert. All right. Now, with that being said, I see these people come in, no muzzle awareness. They want to act like gangsters while they're in the store, turning the gun sideways, flipping the spindle closed on the revolvers. Irresponsible gun training growing up is what it is. What these people need is they need to be educated on how to be better, better prepared for life in general. But they need to be taught as children to respect guns. Back in the 50s, the 60s, they would teach gun safety in school, high school. Kids would roll to school with pickup trucks with guns in the back. It was nothing new to anyone. So my thing is,
back,
it all starts with
back in the
education.
day, back in the day when before I even went to school here in this state, kids used to actually carry guns to school because out in the middle of nowhere, there isn't anybody to help you. Not even the bus driver can help you. So you would carry a rifle or a pistol down to the bus stop, and you could leave it underneath in around the mailbox if you had one, or you could put some kind of storage unit at the bottom of the driveway or something like that, because you're talking long driveways. We're talking half a mile, 2 miles long driveways, because people they have property, they have land. You're talking about ranchers and farmers and everything. So these kids would walk these driveways and everything. What would happen if a bear came up, or a mountain lion, or wolves, or coyotes, or any of this stuff? You had these little kids that would carry these guns because they were taught and they grew up this way. They would carry them to the bus stop, get on the bus, go to school. They'd put them in their bags, or they would hang them up on the coat racks and all this other stuff. There's stories and stories and stories about kids going to school with guns, and not one mass shooting. Not one.
No. Mass shootings didn't become a thing until probably the 90s.
Yeah. So then
I know I was a senior in high school when Columbine went down. And I knew a kid that transferred from my school in Salt Lake and moved to Denver, moved to Littleton, Colorado, and ended up attending that school and was there when that shooting took place.
Yeah. And that's one of the problems.
Josh, I want to say hi. How's it going, Josh? Sorry, one of the viewers just joined in. Josh, good evening. How are you? Welcome to Just the Facts. Continue, Chris.
I just wanted to iterate, because I interrupted you, and I'm sorry, but the biggest thing is, it's not about gun control, it's about gun safety, it's about knowledge, it's about education and learning what it can do. Down in California, so this was a few years ago. I was like 32, 33, something like that, a few years ago. And I knew somebody who was dating this chick from California. We went out shooting, and everything like that. And that she had no idea about muzzle control.
Right.
I mean, she was waving the gun around, swinging it. She was doing all this stuff. And she had left after a while, after her visit and everything. She had gone back. She had a daughter or a couple of kids or something like that she had to get back to. Okay, cool, whatever. She was potentially supposed to be moving up here. There's a lot of talk about all this stuff, but then she had told the person that she was dating
Right.
that about, how strict I was about gun safety and gun control and regulations, and what to do, where to point it, and everything like that. I was trying to help her be more knowledgeable. Well, some people like that take that as an insult, like, oh well, I know all about it. I'm so smart, blah 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 blah. But really, when there's people like you and me or 20 other people that have gun safety and gun control, you know, anybody would have been all like, well, you obviously don't, because you're waving
Right.
the gun around, you're swinging it in front of people, you're pointing it at people, and it's loaded and all this other stuff. The problem is with that is that she had told the person that she was dating that if I had such a problem with it, that she could, the language she used, and I quote, well, if he's got a problem with it so much, well, maybe I could just put a couple of hot ones in his feet or by his feet. And the person that she was dating said, no, 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 you don't want to do that. That's bad.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, why? He goes, he won't hesitate. He will shoot you. That is shooting at somebody. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Well, I used to do that with my brothers and sisters and cousins, and we used to play tag with 22s. We don't play
Right.
tag with guns.
No, 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 no.
You don't.
I never
I
did.
don't care. I don't care how small of a caliber or a round or anything. We don't play that with guns.
No,
And
agreed.
it frustrated me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. No, you're good. So I kind of want to tell a story real quick before we switch lanes and go into another gun topic here in a minute. I want to switch lanes and say, okay, listen up. When I moved here to Idaho after my military time, I had just gone through divorce. My buddy had just gone through a divorce. We decided to share an apartment together. No big deal. Two single bachelors, sharing an apartment, no big deal, right? Well, I had just got a big severance check from the military. I know he did as well. And so we went out and we bought guns. We bought some pistols. I bought a brand new Ruger 1911 45. And did I lose you, Chris?
No, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
still here, but sorry.
Just turn the camera off for a second. No, you're good. All right. So no, I bought a brand new Ruger 1911 45. Beautiful gun. Chromed out. Beautiful, right? So bought some ammo for it. Was over at Walmart looking for more ammo for our guns because my buddy had a 45 too. He had a 6 hour 45. So we're over at Walmart looking for ammo. Well, we walk into Walmart. Some lady sees the guns on our hip. Mind you, Idaho at this time was an open carry state. They weren't constitutional carry state yet. They were open carry state, right? So we're walking through Walmart. This lady follows us. She's on her phone. She's screaming at us. You guys can't be in the store with a gun. We were being polite as we could. Sir, ma'am, Idaho's an open carry state. We're allowed in here with guns. It's not against the law. So, and if Walmart has a problem with us, they'll come talk to us, right? So we go back to the guns department area and we're looking at ammo. And here she comes with the manager. And she's screaming at us. Oh my gosh, there they are. They've got guns. Manager comes walking over. Gentlemen, how are you? Good. How are you? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Is there anything I helped you find today? Yeah, 45 ammo. Unfortunately, we're sold out. Darn. Okay, we'll try somewhere else. So we make our way over to the grocery area because we're going to get some groceries. We didn't think anything else about it. We walked out of Walmart with our groceries. And who's outside with the cops? This lady. She called the cops on us. There they are. They're the ones with the guns. I'm thinking, oh, brother. Cop walks up to us, and I don't know. See, I haven't lived in Idaho long enough to know what the cop's response would be. Cop walks over to me and he goes, gentlemen, you guys doing okay? Doing just fine. Just in here looking for some 45 ammo and buying some groceries. This lady was giving us a hard time about our guns. Cop kind of looks down at my 45. He goes, that's a pretty gun. Mind if I take a look at it? Now, I don't have to show him the gun, but I want to. But I said, sure, in good nature. I pulled the gun out of the holster. I cleared the mag. I cleared the round in the chamber. It was clear. I looked at it. I handed it to him safely, right? That's 100% gun safety right there. He looks at it and goes, man, that's a pretty gun. He goes, how much you pay for this? I said, about $750. He goes, where'd you get it? Little shop here in town called Sportsman's Warehouse. He goes, man, I might go after work and pick me up one if my wife will let me. I said, yeah, do it. That's a really beautiful gun. He gives me my gun back. I put the rounds back in, put another round in my chamber, holster my gun again, snap it up. He says, you guys have a good day. We walked away. This lady is over there. You've got to arrest him. You've got to arrest him. I heard the officer say before we left, we're going to arrest you for disturbing the peace if you don't leave this situation alone. Yeah. Just a funny situation I wanted to bring up because it's ridiculous. Idaho now a constitutional state. I know Montana is as well. So as long as I'm an Idaho resident, I don't have to have a concealed carry permit to conceal carry in Idaho. Now,
well, there's a name for people like that. It's Karens. They Karen.
Yeah, she was a Karen. Else. She was a Karen before the Karen pandemic really hit.
Yeah,
and I call it a pandemic. It is a pandemic.
Pre-Karen.
Yeah, it was like to me. I would rather suffer with COVID-19 again than Karens. Anyways, switching subjects just a little bit here. We're still on the subject of guns. But I don't know if you
take over. I have info too. Sorry.
No, I got you. I don't know if you know about this. I just posted on the screen. The feds want to ban AR platforms across the board around the country. This is going through right now. This is going through the House. They vote next week on this and another bill. I'm going to talk to you about here in a minute. After we talk about this AR gun platform, yeah, the feds want to ban AR platforms across the board. That means it may not. It still has now. See, here's the thing: it has to pass in the House, it has to pass in the Senate, and then it would have to go up, and it has to have the presidential pass too. Here's the thing that gets me excited that it's not going to pass because it's either the House or the Senate is majority Republican.
Right.
And they all know.
And they all know.
Yeah. Well, they all know that if it does pass, they just started a civil war here in the United States. Because now that they ban all these guns, you have to go take all these guns. Their logic in thinking about this is really backwards thinking. Because now I've got to go de-arm all these people that have all these ARs and ammo for these ARs. And mind you, okay, there's a guy that comes into the gun shop, 2-3 times a week, right? He's a regular.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not going to mention his name, whatever. He was showing me last time he was in the shop, which was, he was in today, but he was in a couple days, last week. He was in the shop when I was in working. He came in. He was showing me his arsenal.
Right.
It would take probably 3 or 4 states of National Guardsmen to get to his house with the arsenal he has. All I'm saying is they're backwards thinking on this is, and here's another thing that boggles my mind. None of the Democrats have guns. Matter of fact, they want to ban guns across the board. All guns. Civilians shouldn't have guns. So if they ban guns,
because they're trying to create a communist state. That's all it is.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
not even just
they're
a communist
just like,
state,
oh well,
state.
Australia did it. Why can't we?
Yeah, but look at Australia. 10 of the most deadliest creatures on Earth. Out of the 10 deadliest creatures on Earth, 8 of them are from Australia. Nobody wants to live in Australia. Australia sucks.
It does. It's
but
hot. It's
I
miserable.
agree. They are humans and they should have their rights as well. You know the true history of Australia, by the way?
Well, I was too busy trying to learn about Mozart to really learn about Australia. So
Australia is a prison colony set up by the British Empire at the height of their empire. They would drop prisoners off down there and exile them to Australia because it was hot. There was aborigines. There was crocodiles. There were spiders that could kill you in one bite. There were snakes. I mean, it was just a death sentence.
Yeah,
essentially.
And the percentage of living through any of that was astronomically low. And then we became the alpha and learned how to mostly live with or control how to live or eat these animals. I mean, how many hundreds of people died before they figured out, okay, well, we have to do this to eat a poisonous snake a certain way. We have to take the sac out. We have to do all this other stuff. There were people that would just throw the thing on a shish kebab, roll it around over a fire and eat it, and they would be very, very sick for a very long time or a short time and eventually die.
Right.
How many tribes, like I don't mean to change the subject, but how many different ethnicities, died, tribes died, eating these animals, bugs, and reptiles and everything. I mean, how many people died of even eating a poisonous frog or
trial and error,
licking a toad?
Trial and error.
Exactly. That's how it started.
This is how Mother Nature weeds out the dumb.
Yeah, you think that we had Q-tips for scientific testing?
And listen, my opinion, I think it's funny. Like I said, on my podcast I won't. If we had a Democrat in here talking to us right now, I wouldn't bash them. I might debate their some of their beliefs and some of their thinkings. But
screw debate. Screw debate.
No. Here's the thing. There are some Democrats, I say some and few, that actually have logic in their thinking when they talk about certain things, right? There are some Democrats that will actually get on board with protecting the Second Amendment and the rights of the American people to the Second Amendment. And so there are some Democrats that have a good head on their shoulder. It's really not a good look for you, Chris. Just saying.
Sorry.
But no, there are a few Democrats that actually I can talk to. You're good. There's actually a few Democrats that I can talk to without having, an argument over things, right? And like I said, I don't like to argue with people. I like to debate, and it's really, there's nothing wrong with a simple debate on certain matters, right? So my thing with we're going back to this whole AR gun ban, right? The AR assault rifle ban, um, because that's exactly what AR stands for.
No, it
According
does
to these,
not. You know
I
that.
know, I know that. I'm just saying, Chris. Like that's what these people think about. They think, oh, AR stands for assault rifle. It does not. Okay, I'm going to put this out there for everyone listening right now. AR stands for Armalite Rifle. It does not stand for assault rifle.
It's a brand.
It's not a brand. It's a design. It's a
It's a
design of a
design.
gun.
It's a
A brand is a Ruger or a Smith and Wesson or a Kalashnikov, which is also an AR platform, by the way. It's a semi-automatic fired, magazine-fed gun. That is the terminology of what the government defines as. Well, okay, actually, I can't say that particularly because some of these government individuals think that these guns fire 1,000 rounds a second, and they're loaded up with 40 round 50 caliber magazine clips. They make up the dumbest sayings and expressions when they start. this clip holds 1,000 rounds and fires 1,000,000 rounds a second. No. And then
yeah.
even our vice president right now, Kamala Harris. She has put out there that we shouldn't be allowed to use these guns where when we push the button, it just fires rounds as fast as the gun could fire. That's not how semi-automatic guns work. A semi-automatic gun means I pull the trigger, it goes bang. I pull the trigger again, it goes bang. I pull the trigger a third time, guess what happens? It goes bang until I'm out of ammunition in my magazine. Then it goes click, and it doesn't go bang. Not pull the trigger, bang, 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 bang. No, that's called an automatic weapon. That's not called a semi-automatic. Anyways, I digress.
It's not called a machine gun either.
It's not called a machine gun. You're right. A machine gun is a belt-fed, air-cooled, air-driven gun that feeds the bullets via a belt into its chamber and fires them at a rapid speed. Automatic machine gun. All right? Used for the military and law enforcement. No one else. And you know what? Guess what? I'm fine with that, Chris. I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. Now, would it be cool to be able to get my Class 3 and have, a 240 Bravo belt-fed 7.62 machine gun? Absolutely. And don't doubt that I'm not going to try to get one. Okay, so anyways, coming to my point to finish this topic up real quick before we move on to our next topic. It's funny that the people that are trying to ban assault rifles, right? Let's see what I did there. They're trying to ban ARs across the board in this country. They're trying to ban all guns in particular. They don't think anybody should have a gun because these pistols are just as deadly as the assault rifles that people are using. Wink, wink. But anyways, going back to it, these are the people that refuse to buy guns. So tell me the logic in the fact that they're going to ban ARs across the board and expect someone else, aka our military, to come to your house, Chris, or my house and take my AR-15
over my cold dead fucking body.
I told him, I said, I'll give you all my bullets at 3,000 feet per second. But yeah, no, this is the logic behind the left wing thinking, right? And like I said, I'm here to bash people because if someone came in here and gave me an actual refutable argument to why we need to ban AR-15s, we could have a good debate. We could have a logical discussion on how that's going. Okay. Anyways, I digress. Hold on one second. I'm posting to another person. I'm trying to get more people to watch, more people to join in.
I'm trying to invite people too and see if they'll even join at all.
Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Gosh darn it. I'm trying to get okay. Let me get the next subject up here. We can at least get going on it real quick. Yep, that's the one. Did you know this, Chris? Did you know this is something else? It's also the feds are trying to do this as well. The feds are trying to pass a law, and like I said, it has to go through Congress and then, of course, Senate before it can go anywhere else. They're trying to pass a law to allow them to spy on the U.S. citizens without a warrant.
Well, you see, that's bullshit, and the fact of all of that is that okay? Once upon a time, there was a time where if you made what's the words? What's the vocabulary I'm looking for? Wasn't necessarily a crime or treason, but if you publicly decimated the flag or you graffitied or something to American history, and that spans so much. We're talking Martin Luther King Jr. statues. We're talking Civil War general statues and stuff like that. And by the way, that doesn't represent racism. It represents the historical value of the history of the fight and so on and so forth. But if you did something publicly or maybe even privately in the wrong place at the wrong time or right time, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
Once upon a time, you would have the random black SUV show up at your house and they would ask you to come with them, and you may or may not disappear for good.
Right.
And so you want to talk about, the feds want to be able to spy on citizens. The CIA and FBI have been spying on us our entire lives, and you don't even know it. Alexa, Siri, YouTube, podcasts, videos, TikTok. What are those? What are those vines?
Did you just hear that? I don't know if you heard that or not.
What?
You were talking about Alexa and Siri.
Yeah.
And hold on. And you said Siri, and it came through my microphone on my computer, and my Siri said, "What?"
Exactly.
Listen, point proven.
Point proven. So do they need permission? They're asking us whether or not they should be able to spy on us or not. They've been spying on you your entire life. That is not a conspiracy. That is facts.
100%.
This is not oh, we want people to know that we are stupid
Keep
people.
dipping out of me, Chris.
I'm sorry. I'm going back and forth. So anyways, we're trying to figure out, why the feds think that they need permission. They've been doing it forever. So
Right.
why try to freaking make it legal?
No, absolutely right.
They
You're
have
absolutely
they
100%.
have no they have no idea of privacy or anything. We can have the CIA. It doesn't matter if it's your podcast or mine or visitors, vice, whatever. It doesn't matter. They could be listening in right now and listening to my thoughts and listening to your thoughts and actually targeting what I'm saying, because
Right.
we don't need that in the US. We don't need facts. We need what we're trying to get everybody else to do right now. That's what we need. We need more people to fight for the AR ban. We need more people to fight against race, so-called race. We need more people to figure out that the way to live is not with guns and ammunition and explosives. That was the American dream. Come to America, work, make money, be legal, learn our history. What happened?
Right.
What happened to coming to America and becoming a citizen? You had to learn our history. You had to learn our language in order to drive a truck, in order to work at McDonald's, in order to do all this stuff, because you had to communicate, not the other way around. So why is it that we have to change because you don't like the way we live? If you don't like the way we live, see ya.
Right. Yeah, you can go somewhere else. Okay. I didn't have a whole lot of topics tonight because I'm going to start going throughout the week and start doing these. So the next topic, and this one is despite how you feel, this one is an important topic because this one's going to hit really close to home in the United States pretty soon, I think. Russia's war in the Ukraine. Now, with that being said, I want people to understand something, that this war has been going on for 2 years. Hang on a second. I'm going to take a pause for a second, Chris, and everybody online. I'm trying to help somebody find the podcast really fast.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
If you're going to take a break, I will be right back. I'm not leaving anywhere, but I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. Right, for all of you that are still listening, while I'm helping my friend find this podcast, I have a challenge for each and every one of you. I want you guys to go and add 3 of your friends and have them join the podcast. The reason I say that is because everyone that joins, I'm going to have them do the same thing. I want this podcast to grow. I want Just the Facts podcast to grow and become a bigger, better version of itself. Okay? So I want you guys to understand, go and add 3 of your friends invite them to come see the podcast, Just the Facts, right here on YouTube Live. I've got about another 30 minutes or so. I'm going to be online. And then after this, it's bedtime, so I can go to work tomorrow.
Oh, free will, baby, gotta go, man.
I'm building this podcast so that I don't have to go to work anymore. Not that I don't want to, or I don't have the capability of going to work anymore, but I know people that make good money doing podcasts like this every day, and I am going to be one of those people that make good money doing podcasts. Nothing wrong with this. We talk about the issues of here in America, here around the world, whatever. While I'm on the subject of helping my friend out, we this week, I know it doesn't really, you're not really a big fan of it, Chris, but this week we had the NCAA tournament finished up, and we crowned two NCAA champions this week. In the men's division, it was the UConn Huskies. They won the NCAA tournament for their second straight year in a row. And I want to give them a congratulations to the UConn Huskies, University of Connecticut Huskies, for their amazing season. They defeated Purdue in the national championship game, 75-60. Great game for them. On the women's side, let me see the women's side. If I can spell. This year it was. Gosh darn it, I can't even. Maybe they're still playing the women's tournament. I'm not sure how that works, but anyways, I thought the women's one was finished as well. Well, here, I'm going to pull up the bracket real fast and we can see who it was. Won it all. Looks like it was South Carolina defeated Iowa. So congratulations to the South Carolina Gamecocks for winning the national championship. Those are the two sports highlights I wanted to get to kind of this week, since they're kind of trending. For any other sports people on here, about the wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs that got in trouble the last weekend, the last Sunday of April, he was caught doing 119 miles an hour in a Lamborghini that he owned. He rented, excuse me. And then him and his car that he actually owned, which was a Chevy Camaro, ended up getting in an accident with a 6-car accident in Dallas, Texas, hurting a few people. No one got seriously injured, or no one was killed. But he was taken into custody today by the Dallas Police Department. He posted $40,000 bail. He will go in front of a trial and judge and everything else like that on 8 counts of reckless endangerment. So he's in trouble. Everybody, it's an ongoing process. I hear people asking me, as a Chiefs fan, I hear people asking me all the time, what happened? Do you think he's going to play this season? I don't know. It's not up for me to decide. It's up for the judge and the court to decide. And when everything is done in the civilian court side of things, the NFL will issue some sort of punishment, probably a suspension, probably a huge fine, $100,000 fine or something. I don't know. They're gonna do their part. Anyways, getting back on topic, Russia's war in the Ukraine. I put in the Ukraine. It's not supposed to be like that. Anyways, Russia's war in the Ukraine has been going on for just over 2 years now. And today I was reading that Russia launched another wave of missile strikes. And these missile strikes were closer to the Polish border, which actually gets really close to bordering World War III with NATO. Obviously, that Poland is a NATO country, and any act upon one NATO country embarks the entire NATO population to go to war. So, if Russia were to have a missile go array and go into Polish territory and cause damage or death, well, they just started World War III. Because I doubt that the Chinese government would allow us to invade Russia as NATO forces without saying, wait a minute, we want a piece of this. Because China, on the other side of things, is a greedy little country themselves. Any thoughts, Chris, on the Ukrainian-Russian war conflict?
I'm indifferent. I don't know what really to say too much about the war. It may or may not upset somebody, but it's nerve-wracking to the fact that it could happen here. Doesn't matter how you look at it.
Right.
They could come and try to invade. They being the Russians, I don't care. They could cause us panic and disorder because the government thinks that, well, we may need what do you call it? We may need to show our power to the American citizens, and we need to just take over. The problem with that is, what does the Constitution state?
I mean, technically, the war in Ukraine is none of our business.
Right. It isn't any of our business, but because it's going on, we're having disarray here.
Well,
because
and
the government. Go ahead.
So yeah, the reason, and I'll say the reason why I feel like we're having a lot of contention here in the United States is the fact that there are some people that just feel really bad for the Ukrainians. And don't get me wrong, in a time of war, when war starts here in the United States, we're going to be reaching out for people to help too, and I get that. All right. Yes, we can fight our own war and our own battles, but it would be nice to have a little help from somewhere, make the job a little easier. However, and there are people that are going to feel sympathetic towards the Ukrainian side of things, and there are people that are going to feel sympathetic towards the Russians because the Ukraine used to be part of Russia. Like Vladimir Putin spoke on, he spoke with that really big famous reporter now. It's I cannot think of his name. It's going to blank on me. I'll come to it later. Anyways, he had a big long interview on. It was kind of like 60 minutes. I don't think it was 60 minutes, but anyways, where he talked for 30 minutes about Russia's history and how the Ukraine, how the Ukraine territory just used to be a part of Russia, and up until I don't know 60 years ago, it was considered Russian territory, and so all Putin is trying to do is rebuild what is rightfully Russia. Now,
well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's rightfully Russian or not.
No, I agree. Look, if a sovereign nation, same thing goes for here in the United States. If Texas decided to secede from the Union today, which, I mean, they've been borderline doing it for a long time. But if they decided to secede from the Union today, would we want to go take Texas back? It's part of
Why?
the United States. It hasn't always been. We stole it from Mexico.
Exactly. So why are we worried about what California wants to do or Oregon wants to do?
Look, if California wants to break off and go off in the middle of the ocean and be on their own, that's fine. I don't care. Just kidding. That's a joke. No, seriously, like as much as I disagree with a lot of the policy and a lot of the thinking that comes out of California, they're still part of the United States. Same thing with Texas. Anyways, what I'm saying is like all Putin's trying to do is get his stuff back. So you're going to have people sympathizing with both sides of the fight, right? And in saying that, like, where do we stand on the war in the Ukraine? To me personally, I can care less. I mean, honestly, it's a rough situation for both sides because the Russian soldiers are getting their butts kicked in Ukraine, and the Ukrainian people are suffering. And I get that. But why should it force us as the United States government to fork out trillions of American dollars to help the Ukrainian economy? If our economy in the United States is so strong and other countries rely on us as an economic hold on to, something to hold on to economically, then why does it matter so much that we pump trillions of dollars into the Ukrainian economy? And listen to this. That's not even about the weapons that we're sending over there. The billions of dollars that we're sending over there in weapons is separate from the billions of dollars that we're sending over there to support the bakeries and the car dealerships and their economy. Their literal economy is what we are pumping billions of dollars into. That right there is the part that bothers me the most about the Ukrainian war. Because Chris is paying for some bakery in the Ukraine to stay open. Nathan here is paying for a car dealership in the Ukraine to stay open, so that their infrastructure can stay intact. I'm sorry, but if war broke out here in the United States, our infrastructure would be in ruins, and it would become complete anarchy, and we would be fighting for our mere survival.
Yeah. Hey, man, I have to run. I will be right back. I'm going to stay on, but I'll be right back. Okay.
Sure. All right. Well, that's fine. All right. Who else do I have viewing? Josh, if you're still on, I say what's up. Looks like I have 2 viewers still. I'm not sure who these 2 viewers are. Trying to get more people to talk with and talk to. I want to hear your guys' opinions as well. Let's find another subject to talk about, shall we? Let's see. What to talk about, guys? I got about another 20 minutes or so. Let's find a good subject to talk about real fast. We talked sports. We talked the guns and AR ban they're trying to push. We talked the spying on the U.S. people without warrants, suicide prevention, squatters' rights. Let's see. Current events. I want to start doing segments on the show. Maybe you as viewers can give me some suggestions on what kind of segments you want to hear. Maybe you want to hear a short segment on a certain subject every week where we sit down and talk about mortgage rates, gold prices, stocks. There's lots we can talk about. There should never be a situation on the show where we're left blank, right? That's why I'm still talking while Chris is off doing whatever he's doing, which is fine. Anybody in the comment section want to give you a suggestion on what we should talk about? By all means, hit it up. Do your thing. I don't feel like I have as many viewers as I did before. But yeah, I think a lot of people are dying out. Maybe it's too late for a podcast. Maybe I should plan a different time to run my podcast. I just felt like Friday evenings were a good time. People were off work. People were, most people are probably out at the bar, and I get that. But yeah, just on my podcast, wanting to hear what you people think. Let's see if I can get my sister on board here. Send my sister a message, see if she sees that. Anybody else? Let me go to my Facebook page itself and see if anybody has mentioned joining in tonight. I did put a Facebook blast out. There's a study I was reading on. I was reading it here in the United States. We talk a lot about on TikTok, for example. We do a lot of stupid videos, and there's a lot of people that do stupid videos, which they're funny and they're amazing, right? But then there's other countries that do educational videos, and I feel why don't on TikTok? Why don't we do more educational stuff, right? That's why I wanted to start a podcast, because I want people to come on here and talk, and I want people to start getting educated on current events, on other things that we talk about on the show. Welcome back, Chris.
Thank you.
No problem. I just saw my sister online. I sent her a message. Maybe she'll join us. Probably not on the talk, but she'll probably join us in the chat room there. If she even sees my message. It's so hard to get a hold of my sister. She lives 200 miles away, and I see her once a year, maybe. Anyways. Callie did join. Callie, welcome to the show. Hold on a second. Chewbacca, come here. Come here. Miss Kelly wants to see her Chewbacca. Come here.
Chewbacca!
Tilt the camera down a little bit. There's my boy. There's my boy. Guys, everybody watching at home, this is Chewbacca. He's my handsome little boy. And after this podcast, he's going to go out and go potty, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. That's right. After the podcast, when Dad's done on the podcast. Okay, love you. Go lay down. All right. I had to show my friend Callie. She said, where's Chewbacca? So I had to show him. I had to show off the boy. That's right. All right. Oh, hold on. We got someone joining us. What's up? Add to the stage. One more joining us.
Oh, it's Shark. It's
Shark. What's up?
What up, you crazy bastards?
What's up, Shark? Welcome to the Facts Podcast.
Thank you.
We've been talking a lot about, let's see, the topics we've talked about tonight on the podcast were the government wants to ban ARs across the board. I don't know how you feel about that. Okay. Well, one more joining us. We're making it a party.
Outlaw.
Outlaw, welcome to the podcast. This is Just the Facts.
These are a bunch of my gaming buddies.
I could tell you that the AR in the safe 2 feet away from me says that I disagree with them banning
I'm not blaming you. And
favorite
we had this discussion. It's funny that they want to ban ARs. They don't even know the definition of an AR. They don't know what it means. They want to ban assault. Okay, well, you go ahead and go ban assault rifles, because if you find the proper definition of assault rifle, you let me know. Because not one of them can define assault rifle. Not one of them.
You know, would that encompass intent and use versus hardware? I mean, assault is a verb, isn't it?
I use my AR as a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool. It's not a assault rifle by any means.
Well,
Outlaw left.
and how do you define it as an assault rifle? I mean, your hunting rifle could be an assault rifle if you used it for assault.
Well, if I take my pistol out and assault somebody with it, does it turn into an assault weapon?
It's an assault weapon. It's not an assault rifle.
I get that. But the government defines AR as an assault rifle, which is not the correct term.
Well, I guess
But go ahead.
that's kind of a hard argument because I'm pretty sure that's what the AR stands for.
It does
I
not
mean, if we're
actually.
being literal.
AR does not stand for assault rifle. AR does not stand for assault rifle.
What does it stand for? Educate me.
AR stands for Armalite rifle.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So
That's their misconception as well.
here's the funny part. We brought it up earlier in the show.
Dragon.
Is that here's the funny thing we brought up earlier in the show is that the same people that are trying to take and ban the ARs are the same people that don't buy guns because they don't believe in guns. So
Correct.
you need to tell me that someone's going to knock on my door and say, Mr. Lewis, will you please give me your AR?
No.
And as I laugh at the door in their face, they're going to get very
No, because
angry.
they're not going to come do it. They're going to send.
No, they're going to send the military or the National Guard. Yeah, you're right.
And
But here's
they're already training. They've already been training. They've been training foreign nationals for a long time, just for that purpose, because that they know that our own homegrown military won't fire upon its own citizens.
No, you're right. And that's another reason we got into the topic tonight about squatters' rights. The new thing in the United States is squatters' rights, where squatters are breaking into people's homes and claiming them, saying, I live here now. And so we got into that subject. And Chris also agreed that that squatters' rights don't have any meaning. Guys, my friend Wesley's going to join us now, too, as well. Wesley, what's up, my man?
Hello.
Welcome to Just the Facts, my brother.
Thank you.
Are you down for this or what?
Always down.
What are you doing for work now, Wes?
Working it over at Abacadabras right now.
What? So you're off at 2 every day because Abacadabras closes at 2?
Except for 3 on the weekend.
Oh, they extended their hours. Nice. They used to close at 2 on the weekend as well. So anyways, Wes, you might want to weigh out on this. So the topics we talked about tonight, I've got about another 13 minutes before I end my podcast live on YouTube. But the topics we talked about tonight were the government's trying to ban ARs across the board. Like they just want to ban them all the way, right? We've talked about the government signing a new bill into action there that hasn't passed the Congress yet, which that's the first step. If it passes Congress, it has to go to the Senate, then on up the chain to the president. They're trying to pass a bill that would allow the government to spy on its citizens without a warrant. I mean, they could have, they could break into your house while you're gone and put freaking cameras in your house without you knowing, and there ain't shit you can do about it. With that being said as well, we talked about suicide prevention. And I want to bring this up one more time as well, guys, is I take suicide prevention very seriously. I served in the military for 12 years, and it is a proven fact that on average, 22 American either veterans or service members take their own lives daily in this country. Now, to me, that's 22 too many. I put a stat up from 2023. 49,449 people killed themselves in the year of 2023. That is way too many. The average of 123 a day. I think that's what that was. But anyways, Wesley, up here in the other corner is my buddy Chris. He lives up in Montana. He's basically Canadian. We allowed him to come on the podcast anyways. I mean, he lives so close to the Canadian border, he might as well be Canadian. Chris is gonna log off now and be like, screw you guys. Hey, there's nothing wrong with those donut loving pieces of crap up in Canada, okay?
Hey, you leave my donuts alone, eh?
That's right, eh? Anyways, I think from now on, we're just going to do for the last 10 minutes. We're just going to do kind of free range talk because I've ran out of all the topics. We went through a bunch of topics. Anyways, so what's up, Wes? What's new in your world?
Oh, not a whole lot. Still trying to plumb, but
Still trying to relay that pipe, are you?
Oh yeah.
Aren't we all though? I mean,
so when I first met Wesley, we were working at Red Robin together, Chris, and he was going to plumbing school. You're an apprentice now still, or are you still doing that? Or
I'm actually done with school. I just have to take the journeyman test.
Gotcha. So he's really proficient in laying piping, I guess. So.
Oh yeah, the best pipe layer.
He can clean pipes out just like nobody's business. Matter of fact, at Red Robin, we had a clogged pipe, and he went and unclogged it.
There's been so many times I can think of that. I'm married. I have a kid, but I still try to clean them pipes out, man. It doesn't matter who it is.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about real pipes, Chris. Where are you going with this?
Hey, you said free range. You said this.
I know.
Free range. If you can't, take
I know.
It off.
No, trust me. I don't remember how it started. I mean, I kind of remember how it started, but I think we were talking about something at Red Robin. So me and Wes's thing are you down, Wes? And so we got into the subject of something. I don't remember what we were talking about. And I thought he said, I'm down, like he had Down syndrome. And he doesn't, obviously. But we got on the subject. So now every time I see him or I talk to him on Facebook or something like that, I'm always like, you down, Wes? He's always like, I'm totally down. I'm more down than anyone else can ever be.
Always.
Wes is always down. I'm glad you can join us, Wes. Dude, it's been a minute, man.
Yeah.
Even though we live in the same town.
Opposite sides of the town, yeah, if I believe correctly. You used to live over by the movie theater?
I do.
Yeah.
But wait, so hold on. If you work at Abracadabras, and it's almost 11 o'clock here. It's a long drive home for you.
Oh no.
They close at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah. No, I was with my wife. We went to go get ice cream.
Nice. With sprinkles?
Yeah. Oh yeah, with sprinkles and all the good stuff.
For winners, right? I thought sprinkles were for winners though. But you're a winner. You're a winner in my book, Wes. Don't. Sorry, this water's a little stronger than I thought it would be. Oh, that's the wrong cup. This cup's a little stronger than I thought it would be. Anyways, Let's see what else. Yeah, I'm working over at Olive Garden, Wes.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, Quinn left there. I actually hung out
He
with
went back
Quinn
to Red Robin.
a couple weeks ago with Zach.
Oh yeah. Zach has his
Yeah.
own podcast. I messaged him tonight to join us on this one, and he didn't see my message.
Yeah, he's hanging out with his kids for the weekend, his stepson and daughter.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
he
next
just got
week,
a car and
so I'm doing my podcast every Friday night, from 9 till 11 Mountain Time.
Okay.
So anybody watching, and here's what I want you to do, Wes. I want you to invite 3 people to join my channel. Chris is going to do the same. I've invited a crap ton of people, and I want each of those 3 people to invite 3 people, and so on, because I want this channel to blow up. The reason I want it to blow up, and I don't care. I know people that make money doing podcasts, and I've got. That's what I want to do. I want to make money doing this podcast, but it's not about the money of the podcast to me. It's about spreading the word of news, sport, whatever's going on in life right now. I want this platform to be open for people to come in and just share their feelings, because on Just the Facts podcast, I don't want people to come in and feel like they're going to get persecuted for who they are, or hated on because they're a Democrat and they feel a certain way, or they're a Republican and they think a certain way, or whatever, or they have a certain opinion about things. This is a free platform to come on and share your opinion, share your feelings, share your thoughts. And maybe someone just wants to come in and join because, like I said, I talked about suicide prevention. Maybe they want to come in and just talk because, hey, man, I need someone to talk to right now. And if there was 3 of us on here and someone jumped on and said, hey, man, I'm struggling right now, I need someone to talk to, I would not end my podcast. I'd be like, you know what? We're going to stay up and help this guy or girl out, and help them get through whatever they're going through. So that's kind of my thing about my podcast. I just kind of my disclaimer to my podcast is I want people to understand that this isn't a place to come on here and argue with people or fight with people or disagree with people and call people names and stuff like that. This is an open forum where people can come in and chat, and we can debate stuff. Like if you agree on something that I don't, okay, that's your opinion. We'll agree to disagree, but we're going to do it in a polite manner that continues our friendship down the line. If you get my drift, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's why I want this podcast to blow up, because I want to be here one day when someone someone messages on the YouTube board and says, hey man, I'm struggling, I need someone to talk to. And I can send them a link to the podcast and they can join in, and then they're down here in the corner with us talking, and we're just like, hey man, what's going on in life? Tell us, how can we help? Because we need to be there for each other as humans, because like I said, there's only one race on earth, and it's humans. Well, we sit here, we talk about all lives matter and Black Lives Matters and all this other stuff. All race matters.
Hey Nate, I have a point. What do you put into a gun, a rifle, an AR-15? What do you put into it?
Bullets or rounds?
A magazine, right?
Sure.
It's not a clip.
No, it's not a clip.
Okay.
So definition of a clip when it comes to guns.
Hold on.
I have those little metal strips. Those little metal strips that the bullets come on.
Yeah, that's a clip.
That's a clip.
Right.
Yes.
But here's my point. You said races. What's your race?
Human.
What's your ethnicity?
White.
Okay.
Ginger, if you will.
Redheaded stepchild. No, here's the thing.
Adopted redheaded stepchild. Get it right.
The point is you said race. So are we talking about monkeys? Are we talking about dinosaurs? Are we talking about dogs?
Human race. Human race.
The human
There's
race.
only one human race on this planet.
We're not talking about races. We're talking about ethnicities. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Ethnicity.
We've had this conversation.
Yeah. No, we did have this conversation. I agree. No, I'm 100% agreeing with you. No, I get you. I'm just saying
So-
it's
So stop calling it a race.
the human race is a race.
The human race. But you're all like,
That's
oh,
what I
well, we
said.
can
I
talk
said the
about all
human
different
race.
races.
I said the human race.
You said different
And the-
races. You didn't say race.
You know-
You didn't say human race.
Okay, well, still, what I meant was the human race. We are all the human race.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick on your podcast, but the thing is you want to talk about facts. Talk about the facts. We need to talk about ethnicities,
agree.
not race.
Yes. Humans are a race.
Yeah,
Monkeys
humans are a race.
are a species, not a race. An alien civilization is a race.
Okay.
Humans are a race.
And
Let's
and
look.
if
Should
we
we look up the definition of race? I'm
It-
serious. I'm not being rude. I want to know.
let's look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. Okay. Let's see. There's a couple different things, and obviously, a race, a competition between runners, horses, vehicles, boats, etc. To see what is the fastest. A strong, rapid current flowing through a narrow channel in the sea or river. It's also a race. I knew that also. Let's see. That is the actual Webster's Dictionary of race.
Okay. You want to talk about racing or races? I'll talk about
Right.
racing all day long. But if you actually want to talk about ethnicities, I can talk about ethnicities too. I mean, I don't know
we
every
can,
single
yes.
one of them. I don't know the history
No.
behind every single one of them, but you want to make the podcast about facts, you want to make the podcast about truth and history and everything like that. Let's do that.
But we'll see here again. Like it says that. Well, okay. Here's where you want to get factual here, right? I talked about how monkeys are a race, right? And we're going to being overtime, but I'm going to finish it. We're going to finish this conversation. Monkeys aren't considered a race, and believe it or not, monkeys are segregated into different classes. You have apes,
Yes.
which are different than monkeys, that are different than gorillas, that are different than they're different. They're categorized differently. How is it that the humans are the only living beings on this planet that are considered a race?
Because people are stupid.
I mean, this brings me back to my definition that says people talk about Black Lives Matters or White Lives Matters or Blue Lives Matters and stuff like that. How about the human race matters? That's it. That's it.
Well,
That's all it needs to be
then
said, because
people
we're
would
not
go
talking-
into, but then people would go into the argument or the debate of, well, does a chomo life matter? Does a murderer life matter?
And in retrospect, before that chomo becomes a chomo, his life does matter just as much as anyone else. It goes into the legalities of the fact that, okay, he did what he did. And see, this is the gray area that we all talk about in the United States, is that, okay, someone could come on here and say that, they don't believe in capital punishment. I believe chomos should be capital punishment number one. Like, right up alongside a murderer or someone that has committed heinous crimes of that nature, right? I don't know. There's so many laws in this country that dictate what a murder is, what constitutes someone to be considered a child molester or whatever. If I go out to the dog park here in a few minutes, and man, I've really got to pee. I pull my pants down and I pee in the dog park. and a little girl walks by, guess what? I'm now a sex offender.
Yep.
I'm now a sex offender, and I can be considered a cholo.
Yep.
Okay. So on that subject, do I like people that rape children? Absolutely not. I feel like they are disgusting individuals, and they don't deserve freedom anymore. Right?
Well, I think that
with
falls in. I think that falls into the line of that there are I don't know what to call them, not necessarily people in office or whatever, maybe people on the bench like judges and lawyers and everything like that. They don't really know how to go about the disciplinary action on, you know, if you had to take a whiz in the middle of the night and there was a kid at the park, there was a time where we would just go, just like birds, just like animals. We would go on the grass and then weeds and then the trees and everything like that.
Yeah.
There was a time where we would just go. There was a time where we started getting awareness and we would go behind the tree. We would find bushes. We would try to get away from camp or headquarters or whatever and go. And then we started building buildings and public places and everything like that. And we needed to have restrooms because you can't just go out and eat and drink anything all day long and not have to go. It's not healthy. It's not right. It's not how the human body should work. Some people can do it, but it's not an expectation anymore because there are so many bathrooms in this world. There's bathrooms at the bar. There's bathrooms at a restaurant. You know, you could have knocked on somebody's door or whatever like that. But the fact of the matter is that we don't know how to discipline people like that. You know, that's kind of like, okay, well, if you're dumb enough as a man or woman, if you're dumb enough to go outside in public, then we need to discipline you to the fullest extent. And our fullest extent is titling you as one of the worst people in the world.
No, and I agree with that. And here's my ending caveat to capital punishment, for example. Do you believe? And one more question, and then I have, Wes, if you want to chime in, I'll let you chime in, of course. Hold on, in a few minutes. Okay. My thoughts on capital punishment, and either A, we need to be 100% for it. And when I say that, I mean, if I go out and brutally murder a family, right? How should that capital punishment be carried out? I should be brutally murdered. So I know the same pain that family felt, right? I set someone's house on fire and murder an older lady or something like that, right? Maybe you should set me on fire. So I know what that feels like, right? Now, my caveat to that is that what's a worse punishment for someone who commits murder? Killing them so that they get out of living through life with guilt and shame, or locking them away in a cell and making them think about every day of their lives what they did. I mean, which would you?
The latter. It's the latter because there are states, not the United States as a whole. states individual.
Hold up, my cat's
Texas.
going somewhere.
Okay,
Huh?
you're good.
Oh, my kitty
You're
cat
good,
is
Wes.
being wild. I'm gonna have to leave. I'll get on next week though.
All right, man, Wes. I'll talk to you later, bud.
All right, buddy. Nice meeting you, Chris.
Later. Anyways, continue your thought.
So, Texas, they have the death penalty, but the line is so long. Everybody's waiting to die or to do whatever. There's, I mean, you could be waiting 10, 20, 30 years before you actually hit the top of the list.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you have the death penalty, I think it just needs to happen. I don't care. I don't care how much the injection costs. I don't care how much electricity costs. I don't care what the rope costs. I don't care. It just needs to happen. We don't need
So
to
I
wait.
feel like in our country that we've gotten kind of out of hand with the death penalty, for example. All right. One, let's say a gangbanger in California gets in a rival gang fight and ends up killing a rival gang member. Obviously, that's against the law. Obviously, we know that. Or you take a guy that goes state to state, kidnaps young women at bars, takes them home, cuts them up slowly, rapes them, murders them, and then moves on to another state and does the same thing. Right? Serial killers. In my opinion, the gangbanger probably be better off just sitting in prison. The serial killer, oh yeah, he's going to die. That's my opinion. Like, no doubt about it. No question about it. Death penalty, 100%. That's the way I feel about the death penalty. People that commit violent murders, in the way of like serial killing or rape, and then murdering someone or whatever like that. That should be hands down death penalty. You're going to die. End of story. And it shouldn't be, let's sit on death row for 30 years waiting for appeals to go through. It should be, once you're found guilty of said crime, we take you out back and just put a bullet in your head. End of story. You're done. Right? The Wild West. And if you watched the TV show, the spinoff of Yellowstone, it was 1883, right?
Yep.
Tim McGraw's character gets to what was then Fort Worth, Texas, on the train. He's going around town trying to find the supplies he needs to get his family up to Oregon. Some guy walks up behind him, steals his wallet, and starts running with it. Well, Tim McGraw tracks him down and gets him pinned down. Well, the sheriff shows up. What's going on? This guy stole my wallet. All right. Strung him up and hung him right there.
That's what I
There was
think
no
we
jury.
need.
There was no judge.
Right.
There was just an executioner.
Right.
And if we had if we had justice like that in this country, I believe crime would be at an all-time low. Look at this. There was a statistic that was brought out. I was watching a show the other day. It's a guy I watch on YouTube all the time, and he's the prove me wrong guy, right? And he says, I'm pro-gun, prove me wrong. And people are arguing with him. Well, look at all these school shootings and all these deaths in America and he brought up the point. He goes, with all these shootings, let me ask you a question. What percentage of Black Americans do you think commit the most gun violence crime in the United States? He goes, it's just a question. He goes, I'm not racist or anything. He says, just a question. And the lady's like, I don't know. And he goes, did you know that out of all gun violence in this country, blacks using guns in violence in crimes in this country is 75%.
That's because they're
75%
uneducated.
of it's not that they're not educated, because some of them are. There are some. It's what the problem is they're not brought up right, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What the African American community in this country needs to understand is that they have every right to doing things in this country as every American, every white American does, every
Right.
Hispanic American, every Asian American in this country. They have the same rights. They have the same capabilities, if not even some more capabilities. Like, I'm not trying to say this like in a weird way, but black men are built different. They have more muscle.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. Like they're born that way. They're born more athletically built, more muscular. They just naturally have it. You know, and that's why they excel in things like sports. You know, you don't see a whole lot of African American people in, let's say, politics or NASA. You know, any of these things like that. You're seeing more and more. I will say that, right? Because there's the ones that have figured it out. Have figured out that they have every advantage in this country that any other one. That's why it bothers me when they say, "Oh, well, white people have privilege." What? Wait, hold on. If we have privilege, why is there all black schools, but there's not all white schools? There are all black schools. I can't go to those schools. I'm not black.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that black people get and are given to them that don't apply to me because of the color of my skin.
That's because once upon a time, there was all white schools,
Right?
white only schools, and
Yes.
we were flirting with the ability of having different ethnicities and
Segregation.
in segregation. But
Yes.
eventually we got through that because there were people like you and me who didn't look at somebody and say, "Oh yeah, you're black," or "Oh yeah, you're this or that," because you know their parents, their forefathers grew up with or being slaves, and
Right.
you know they were calling the names and everything like that, but they eventually said, "I see you as a person. I see you as people. I see you
Right.
as my peer and not for the color of your skin."
Absolutely. With that
So
being said,
now,
like,
so now we have schools that are of all children.
right.
It doesn't matter what you are anymore. But now, yeah, they
But even still, in this day and age, we have all black schools that I can't attend because I'm white.
They bitched and complained and eventually got what they were asking for, and some are grateful and some still don't understand that why the all black schools exist and not all white schools.
Right. No, I understand. Great subject of conversation, Chris. Great having you on here all night. I appreciate your input. It was amazing having you on here. You can feel free to join us next week or not. It's up to you. If you're busy, we get it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nathan Lewis. This is my buddy Chris. I've played with him on Call of Duty a lot. He's frustrated the crap out of me sometimes, and I did the same for him a few times as well. So we're no strangers to being frustrated at video games. However, I will say I want you guys to come onto the podcast and enjoy this podcast because I plan on building this thing up. Every time I come on this podcast, every Friday night, I want to have 1,000 viewers, right? And I want to have 1 million comments going through. And I'm going to get to the point where people can donate to get their comments put at the head of the line. That's how I can make money doing this podcast. I can get sponsorship. Somebody might even find me on here doing my podcasts and give me a radio show or a TV show. That'd be fine with me too. Look, I graduate next month with my college degree in communication. I'm going to make a career out of this. I want to tell everybody good night. Chris, it's been awesome talking with you tonight. You have an amazing night. We'll talk again soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nate Lewis signing off. Have a good night.
Have a good one.